Yo, what's good, YouTube? Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Des Reacts back another banger of a video, man. This one we got German Special Forces in Afghanistan, May of 2013. It's gonna be a pretty crazy video. I haven't reacted to any of the German stuff actually, so it's gonna be pretty cool for me. If you guys enjoy my content, please smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and let me know your guys' thoughts and feelings in the comments per usual. And guys, I made a Patreon for all the videos that get blocked in the UK, USA, copyright strikes. All those videos can go straight to the Patreon. Links in the description. There's a crazy UK cop video on there that I wish I could have posted on the YouTube, but they didn't let me. So without further ado, hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's get it.
In December 2001, 2 months after the commencement of operations in Afghanistan, the German military deployed a contingent of 100 operators from the Kommando Spezialkräfte, or more commonly known as the KSK, the Special Forces Unit of the German Army. On its arrival in the country in January of 2002, the detachment came under the command of the US-led Task Force K-Bar, a multinational special forces task force that was operating in southern Afghanistan. After serving with K-Bar for a few months, the KSK then switched.
And what kind of gun is that? Is that like a G36? Let me know in the comments if you guys know what kind of gun that is.
Its focus in mid-2002 to supporting German and coalition forces in the Afghan capital city of Kabul, before unfortunately it becomes slightly harder to follow the taskings of the unit, as sources conflict with each other on whether it's completely withdrawn from Afghanistan at the end of 2002, or if the KSK maintained a small presence in the country throughout 2003 and 2004. What is known, however, is that from mid-2005 to 2014, the latter date marking the end of NATO combat operations in the theatre, the KSK not only increased its presence in the country, but also began to ramp up its operations against the Taliban and Al-Qaeda, particularly in the north where the bulk of the German forces were deployed. One of its first missions during this period took place sometime in late 2005 and saw the KSK working alongside the US 3rd Special Forces Group to take down or clear an undisclosed target, during which one of the German operators was wounded as a result of an IED explosion.
That's one thing, bro. Probably the worst way to go. Worst part of Afghanistan in the soldier's mind was probably those IEDs. Like, I'd assume, I never fought in Afghanistan, but I'd assume IEDs are always just in the back of your head, and you do not want to have your legs blown off, be an amputee, die, right? Like, that's one of the craziest feelings in the world, I bet. If you guys served in Afghanistan, let me know if that's what, you know, it's kind of like just in the back of your head.
Other missions included a raid against an Al-Qaeda bomb-making house in Kabul in October of 2006, and a heli-borne assault against a Taliban meeting in Baghlan province on the 12th of October 2012 that was codenamed Operation Moonlight and led to the capture of 17 senior Taliban officials, among them the orchestrator of an IED attack against German troops on the 2nd of June 2011. However, none of these operations carried out in the late 2000s and early 2010s would impact or shape the KSK as much as the one conducted on the 4th of May 2013. At 1700 on that spring day, a detachment of Afghan policemen were conducting a routine security patrol near the village of Zaman Kil in the north of Baghlan province, when they were ambushed by a numerically superior Taliban force that was entrenched in a nearby wooded area. Pinned down by the enemy fire, the Afghans radioed for reinforcements, with a 17-man team from the KSK being mobilised from forward operating base Kila Gai. Arriving in the vicinity of the ambush location, the 17-man team moved forward and linked up with their Afghan counterparts, who, instead of assisting the German operators and neutralising the enemy threat, began to disengage from the contact and flee from the area, with reports stating that the policemen established a new position approximately a kilometre away from where they watched the battle unfold.
Dang, bro. I'm just looking at some of these pictures. It's pretty cool. Like, they're in Texas, right? Like, doing maneuvers and stuff, training for Afghanistan, because it's like desert. Like, they're obviously in a desert of Texas. Like, that's pretty dope that they came to America to train.
This incident sparked anger throughout the German military, with senior German defence officials in the aftermath questioning the future of the relationship between the German and Afghan forces, whilst one member of the KSK stated that they, the Afghan policemen, were cowardly and let us down. Nonetheless, the men of the KSK didn't have time to assess what was happening, and were forced to seek whatever cover they could find as the Taliban insurgents switched their focus to the German troops.
Man, bro. See, that's where it sucks, man. Because the Afghanistan people, they were not properly trained. Like they're not trained like these special forces guys, right? And they were scared. They're scared to fight. They don't want to fight for their land. They probably gave up and was just easy targets to them or just surrendered. So then the Germans had to put it on their back to get them out of it. That's crazy, bro. I'll be pissed.
Despite returning fire, it quickly became clear to the German operators that they were not only outnumbered, but also outgunned, as the enemy fighters brought into action heavy caliber machine guns and rocket launchers. Realising this, the operators called for immediate air support, which initially came in the form of 2 German Tiger helicopters, which launched their onboard rockets into the forest, before being replaced by a similar number of US attack helicopters, and later 2 US A-10 Thunderbolt aircraft, which bombed and strafed the enemy strongpoint.
Dang, bro. Those A-10 Warhogs, bro, Thunderbirds, whatever they are, those things are so cool, bro. Massive destruction, precision, accuracy, and they said if you're the target, you won't hear it because that burst, the brrr, like that happens after the bullet's already hit. Like that thing's crazy. That thing was a demon.
This aerial bombardment was effective in silencing the enemy gunfire, providing the 17-man KSK team a short period of respite to gather their bearings and take hold of the situation. Eventually, with the fighting having died down, the decision was made to send a 4-man patrol forward to the forest to gather intelligence from the contact and to be certain that the enemy was neutralised. However, as the small team reached the edge of the wooded area, a Taliban fighter who was hunkered down in his foxhole opened fire with his AK-47, hitting Hotfeld-Weeble Daniel Wirt before training his rifle into one of the other operators, who was struck by a bullet to his helmet and knocked off his feet. Luckily, the bullet failed to pierce the ballistic material of the helmet, and the second soldier was fortunate to walk away from the incident with only minor wounds to his head.
Whoa, okay. So a guy that was laying back, he was just hunkered down in the trench. So did he kill the first guy? But then that's crazy. The second guy hit his helmet and the dude he probably got knocked out, right? Probably just like just like anyone would, if you get a huge bullet to the head, you're automatically just gonna like drop to the ground, like, to recover. Like that's crazy. That's crazy. He's very fortunate he didn't die.
Meanwhile, the 2 other operators of the patrol engaged and killed the Taliban fighter, prior to rushing to the assistance of their wounded colleagues and pulling them back to the safety of the rest of the KSK team, who were laying down cover and fire as a dozen more Taliban insurgents emerged from their dugouts and engaged the German troops. Subsequently, over the course of the next hour, the German special forces, despite becoming dangerously low on ammunition, fought off a numerically superior Taliban force, causing an unknown number of enemy casualties, until a couple of US Army helicopters arrived to evacuate them from the region. While seeing the American aircraft, the German troops, several of whom were carrying the 2 wounded operators, began to disengage from the firefight and make their way to the landing zone, where they boarded the helicopters, all the while under constant enemy observation, and were extracted back to Forward Operating Base Kila Gai. Upon touching down at the base, the wounded were rushed to a nearby aid post, where, sadly, despite the best efforts by the medics to save his life, Hotfeld-Weeble Daniel Wirt was pronounced as killed in action in the evening of the 4th of May, 2013.
Bruh. R.I.P., man. For Hotfeld. That's crazy. Bruh, that's sad, man. All could have been avoided too, probably, if the Afghan police weren't cowards and they fought. The passing of marked the first time that a member of the Commando Spezzacrofte had fallen in combat in the unit's history. He was the first death in the history. Wow. They must be an elite unit. Like, how long have the unit been a thing? I mean, that's crazy. Afghan policeman had connections with Taliban. Set him up, bro. Set him up. Man, RIP to that soldier right there, man. For real. Coward police, set him up. Gosh, man, that's sad. Sucks that we got ended like that, but hey, if you enjoyed the content, please smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Catch you on the next video. Peace.